All right. It'll be a little while before there's a huge delay. So just to let everybody know, that's why there'll be a couple things that'll seem odd. Chat interaction's going to be really, really tough because there is a massive, massive, massive delay on this, which, honestly makes a lot of sense because we're going to be commentating a tour today. I'm going to be watching probably a little bit of the final round and then all of top 8. So I want to be able to comment on games, give my thoughts in real time, but I don't want players to be listening in and potentially me revealing things or better plays or influencing the game. That's the idea. I don't want to influence the game. I want to discuss the game. So there will be a massive delay. So if you are playing in the tour, don't bother trying to use my advice as input. It will be super, super in the past. And for those that are worried I will influence things, don't worry, we've considered that. But yeah, if you ask me a question in chat and I answer like 3 minutes later, that is why. That is why. So once I confirm that we're live, I will start kind of going over the rules of this tour, explaining what's been going on. It has been going on for a little while, actually. So I haven't been watching it, but we've seen there have been 20 participants total, and I think there are 4 or 5 rounds Swiss style. So these gamers have been gaming for a while, so they're all ready to go. They're all warmed up, and we're going to watch the top cut battle it out. But yeah, this should be pretty interesting. We've done a lot of single elimination in the past, which, due to some possibly unfortunate circumstances, the best player doesn't always win in those scenarios, and eventually you do have to win. There is eventually a time where we do go single elimination with those later rounds. But to start off, we have the Swiss style, so the top 8 will be people that were winning a lot. They'll have many games to prove themselves. Okay, so other than that, let's talk about the rules now of this tour. So I'll go over it quickly, and then we'll see if there are any games still ongoing, which is exciting stuff. So basically, unbans, we have Terrapagos, Regieleki, Roaring Moon, and Volcarona. Terra and Goldengo are banned. Goldengo ban is pretty obvious. This is an itemless tour, is the gimmick here. Itemless OU. If Goldengo were allowed in OU, with itemless, hazards would be everything. It would all be about whose hazard situation works out best. So we're obviously not doing that. There was a suspect list of Dragapult, Tingle. I think they ended up unbanning. Let's see what they did. Spectrier, they stayed banned. Volcarona is free, I believe, which makes sense with no items. Volcarona. Basically, this meta is hazards. Even with Goldengo not being here, this is a hazard metagame. Corviknight, I imagine, will be on a lot of teams, or at least should be. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's interesting. And let's take a look at our competitors now then. So let's see. We have, doesn't look like anything's actively being logged. Let's see if we can find any guys we recognize here. Wii U. Okay, don't see anything there. Maybe because the game's been going on for so long. Darn stallers. Well, they don't even appear to be on the user list, though. They don't even appear to be online. This is weird. Hybrid, let's see. Ah, 2Bs. Cool. Let's see, do we have a game here? We do have a game. We're in, folks. We found it. Facing, oh, whoa. That's a devastating turn. Critical hit and a burn on that Fire Blast. That is terrible. Now, this Corviknight's still going to get through this situation, right? Only 4 Fire Blasts. But yeah, to get burned when the Garchomp, especially with the mischance of Fire Blast, and it having only 4, really, that just blows. I mean, you're happy with that Dragon Tail, though. Getting Clefable in there is pretty much best case scenario. But that is bad luck. We'll go to the beginning of this game just to quickly kind of see what happened here. So it was a Clefable lead into Garchomp, and then immediately into Scizor on the Moonblast. I'm surprised Clefable was so scared here. With this being an itemless Scizor, there's really only so much it can do. I feel like maybe, but perhaps it just didn't have anything to hit the Scizor. And then this began. Immediate defog there does not make really much sense to me. Why you would do that, because you can always just defog next turn, and then we see the tragedy unfold of the Fire Blast, and here we are. Scizor comes in again, Clefable deciding to get up rocks, which is a little odd to me. I feel like one of the things you should do early in a game is decide what you want the hazard situation to look like. And you can change your mind on that if you get more information, but Unknown has not gotten any new information here. What you want to do is ask yourself, do hazards benefit my opponent more or me more? And then that'll, if you have a defogger, that is. Right? If you have a rapid spinner, of course, just set rocks whenever. You want them up anyway. But if you have a defogger and that's your only means of removal, that question of are hazards better for me or my opponent should be asked very early on. Now this Zapdos here is going for these Thunderous Kick shenanigans, and it is not going to work. Let me tell you, it is not going to work at all. This Regieleki G-Zap core is a fun idea, but it's pretty outdated. Lecky G-Zap was something I did back in Generation 8, and it worked really well then because in Generation 8, Landorus was really the most common ground type. It was, I think, like the only ground type in the tier. No, Garchomp as well. It was just Landorus and Garchomp in the tier, and there were a couple other viable ones, but that was the big thing, right? It was, for the vast majority, it was Landorus and Garchomp. So, and Landorus being the most common of all. So you had your Regieleki in, and you were threatening to click electric moves. But if the Landorus wanted to enter and block those electric moves, you could go into Galarian Zapdos, get that crazy Defiant boost, and then just start killing everything with a Choice Band. So it became this very threatening core. In Generation 9, where you have stuff like Ting-Lu, Tusk, Treads, Gliscor, now I will say Gliscor is pretty much eliminated this tour because Toxicorp, but you just have way more. Even just with, like, you know, Ting-Lu and the elephants, you have way more options here for ground types. So this Lecky G-Zap core, I'm not loving. But the hazard situation is interesting here. Regieleki can enter once more, is the situation. Regieleki can enter once more. But if another spike goes up, it is dead. It is dead. Oh, I've got to change to final phase. Okay. Didn't do anything. Well, I mean, it did, but nothing useful. Okay, so let's see. We got Raging Bolt in here. This is looking really, really scary because this Garchomp... Okay, just a Draco. Yeah, no item needed. Raging Bolt can kill everything. The boots have fallen. Billions must rock. Yeah, so the biggest... Nothing in this tour has items is the gimmick. The biggest consideration with that is, without a doubt, hazards. Stealth Rock, Spikes. The fact that nothing can run boots. So many Pokemon have just been invalidated by that. Also, funny, Ogerpon Wellspring and like Cornerstone and such needing to run an item have basically been shadow banned by this item ban, which is kind of silly. So this is a really big opportunity for Ting-Lu here. You've got to make a read. If I'm Mortify, I go for Earthquake here. No, so turns out Spikes was the right play. Regieleki is now dead if it tries to enter. So this Lecky is done. It cannot be Boots because that item is banned along with every other item. Let's see. Good read by Mortify there on the Earthquake. Not exactly a hard read to get, but still a good one. But yeah, this Garchomp is proving to be rather problematic. There's really no easy answer. Especially, it probably has... Have we seen... Oh, I was about to say it's probably Rocky Helmet. We don't know what item this is. We don't know what item this is. I mean, we do. It's itemless, excuse me. So yeah, there's no Rocky Helmet to worry about, but still, it's pretty irritating. You see Palt come in. It's crazy to watch all these Pokemon take full hazard damage that are always running boots. Crazy stuff. Okay, there's a Glow King coming in. Not liking that hazard chip. Oh my. Yeah, this is... So far, this no item metagame is kind of proving to be just about what I was thinking, which is hazards. And that's it. I'm a bit surprised that we didn't see more like Magic Guard Pokemon. I mean, I guess we do see the Clefable core, but it's proving to not be enough, it looks like. I mean, what do you do against this Dragapult here? What do you do against this Dragapult? Also, guys, do like the stream if you're enjoying. I'm not exactly sure when the next tournament will be, but you'll get lots of notice if you join the Discord. Yeah, this is, it's not looking good for Mortify. I will say, though, this team is not exactly looking healthy on Unknown's side either, but I don't really see how you stop this Dragapult here. I mean, it's got Hex, and Terra's banned, so I imagine we'll see a oh, okay, that's how you do it. Oh my gosh, and I think that critical hit mattered. Yeah, so that critical hit probably mattered. Well, hold on, that did 72. Yeah, that was a huge miss. That was probably game right there if that Will-O-Wisp hit. That was probably game right there. Now, maybe the Zama's offensive, so the critical hit potentially didn't matter. You know, with a max invested on Pult, Crunch, actually that still mattered. Yeah, that was horrible, horrible, horrible RNG there. Now, the burn on Corviknight early game was pretty devastating, though, and I think would have shaken this up a fair bit. So there is that to consider as well. How did Clefable die? Because Clefable looks like it beats this entire team. Like, did you, like, let it take a bullet punch? You let it take a bullet punch. Okay, yeah, so really questionable plays from Mortify there, so maybe, yeah, I don't know what to say about this, really. Actually, I do see the wisdom in Zapdos now. The Corviknight can't defog because it'll give it a Defiant boost and then it will run through the entire team. That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary. And that Thunderous Kick is now going to kill. Yep, down goes Regieleki on entry. Super, super weird switch from Unknown there. Leaving Zapdos, I mean, I don't know why you would switch Zapdos out. It's not locked in, it doesn't have an item, so it's not like you're worried about Glowking coming in. Just click Thunderous Kick and claim your kill, right? Like, what are we doing? So there's a Future Sight. This should be it. I think you can now just bullet punch your way through the team and that Future Sight won't kill. I guess it comes down to how fast the Raging Bolt is. If the Raging Bolt can outspeed and Thunderclap, you can probably win this with Zamazenta. Maybe. Okay, it is faster, so we still have a game on our hands. We still have a game on our hands. Not a whole lot of one, but we still do. Yeah, you should just be able to click Earthquake here, and I can't really see Zamazenta getting past these two. Maybe, like, Ice Fang? If it has something to kill this Garchomp, like it has close combat, and then... So it's got to one-shot the Zapdos, though, is the key thing. Actually, I think I may have found a route that works here. Beautiful, yes. You sack the Corviknight, because that's totally useless. Keep this around for Thunderclapping the Zapdos, and then you can go Zamazenta here in close combat. So I think that was a mistake. Shadows of Unknown, maybe Dragon Tail was actually the play there. Because I don't believe that killed Corviknight, and you could have potentially dragged out the Raging Bolt, which would have been pretty crucial. Yeah, Dragon Tail there would have done it. Would have let the Corv survive and have a 50% chance to drag out the Raging Bolt, which would be an immediate win. So we do see the CC, and this should be a win then. We'll see. Could be the Galarian Zapdos survives with enough health for a substitute, and has substitute, but that's really the only path. 25, so no, it will not be setting up a substitute. Acrobatics is really smart. I did not think about how buffed Acrobatics would be in this format, but that's really clever. But yeah, this should just be it. Good stuff, Mortify. I will say, there were some questionable plays that game, and you did kind of get bailed by RNG, but you made a good choice at the end. You did make a really good choice. But yeah, that Wisp miss was absolutely tragic. Unknown does not deserve to lose this one. Did not deserve to lose this one. But yeah, I mean, there were mistakes on both sides, so it wasn't like this was a case of just this godly level of clean playing being shut down by RNG. Both these players made mistakes, and both of them made good plays as well. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Let's see what else we've got. Do we have anything else going on? Yeah, acrobatics though is so cool. Like we got to get like a physical Tornadus Therian or something going in this format. That seems like it'd be pretty good. Let's see. What standings? Okay, yeah, this doesn't look like it's been updated. So let's see, are we... I don't honestly know what stage of this tournament we're at. Let's figure it out. Mushtery. Let's see if they're up to anything. Okay, we do have a game here. Is it still going on? It is. And oh no. Oh no, it's stall. But I tell you, this doesn't look so good for Mushtery. When you're using a stall team, you do not want to be looking at this. And boy, this does not look like fun. Yeah. We see the Nuzzle. I'm not sure if that Nuzzle's all that good of a call. D-Kiss there doesn't make a lot of sense. Pretty sure Pain Split would have been optimal. Not really sure what we're doing here. I guess just trying to go for the max Pain Split, which is fine. But I don't know, you're not really... Well, this will be a delicious Pain Split. Yeah, Hatterene, I'm surprised it didn't get to 100 after that. Hatterene has quite poor HP. And these Blissies, I suppose the soft builds will eventually get stalled down. This does not look like that interesting of a game. But we're going to watch it anyway, because that's what we do. That's what we do. Okay, yep, there is the Nuzzle. There's the Nuzzle. This would probably be a good moment to... Why are you clicking Draining Kiss there? That does not make sense. That does not make sense. What are we doing? Okay, this could be a huge Pain Split here. Okay, Nuzzle into the Pain Split would be great here. Hatterene to 66%. That's solid damage. Could probably Pain Split again, honestly. Okay. Psychic Noise. All right, they're going for the offensive strategy here of actually taking this Blissey out. So that heal block will last. If you go for a Nuzzle here and then another Psychic Noise, that is the permanent end of this Blissey. And actually, if you just hit it with an attack here, that's the end of this Blissey. Wow, really greedy SD there. I cannot believe that from Cravian, why you would do that. Just take out the Blissey. I guess the Wheezing could remove hazards and let it come back in, but I don't know. This feels like just too easy for Dondozo to come in and do its thing here. You don't have an item. There's no way you're getting past Dozo. Like, you could have killed Blissey, but you didn't kill Blissey. So that's super weird. Super, super weird. Okay, there is a rest there, though. This is probably going to be an opportunity getting Galarian Wheezing, which is probably why the flip turn came off there. But good on Mushtery for knowing that Wheezing play was a little too obvious and not going for it. But this is going to just be a free spin here for Cravian. Okay, not quite as free as we thought. Sleep Talk into Waterfall is good luck there. That is exactly what you want to see if you're Dondozo. Okay, and there is the switch to Alo. So there's a little bit of pressure now on Cravian, because this could flip turn, and if it does, it could get in that Wheezing, but we're not going to see that happen yet. And Cravian getting the lucky slow flip turn there, assuming Mushtery didn't make some kind of mistake with the EVing. So they will be able to prevent this Wheezing from doing the nefarious things that it wants to do. This should just be a Psychic Noise here, but honestly, I think this is a pretty good deal for Mushtery. Getting these hazards off to get your Wheezing weakened, that's a good deal. You really need these hazards off the field or you are going to lose sooner rather than later. I still think you're kind of doomed, especially once a stall team loses one Pokemon. It's really downhill from there. Losing that Ting-Lu is a really bad sign for the rest of your game. Okay, and they're going on the offensive here, which I'm surprised to see. So that Psychic Noise is going to put this Wheezing in a trap now, where it has to either defog this turn or it is dead and gone. Either way, this Wheezing dies here if Cravian plays this right. If you're Craven here, what you want to do is just go for the Psychic Noise because that guarantees... What are we doing? You've just let the Wheezing survive. What are we doing? I guess it won't be too hard to kill at this point if you get your rocks up quickly, but just a huge throw there from Cravian, really. I mean, you had this... we're preserving like a 23% poison Hatterene. Why? And now we're making risky switches. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? What is the game plan here? Yeah, this is just... Oh, I've got to reload it. Silly me. Silly me. Not knowing how to reload things, I tell you. Nope, nothing here still. Yeah, Cravian is tossing this like crazy. All you needed to do was click Psychic Noise there on the Wheezing. It would be dead right now. It would be dead right now. And if it didn't, if it went for the Sludge Bomb again, it would die on entry. Right? I mean, this Rillaboom switch in on the Wheezing was so risky. Like, what if the Wheezing made a hard read and Sludge Bombed again? Like, it turned out okay, but you're taking risks here that you just absolutely, not in a million years, needed to take. So I'm really confused by this. Bognor with the 2 pounds. With the announcement. Baby Bognor in development. Release date 2026. Love you all. Epic stuff. Epic stuff. Congratulations, Bognor. Congratulations. That is awesome. More details to follow. And okay, it's just going to be a Rillaboom situation. So it turned out okay, but I don't approve of the way Cravian handled this endgame. Yeah, I do not approve of the way this endgame was handled. It, as I said, turned out fine, but this was just not great. Actually, Loki, what if it didn't turn out fine? What if Olo solos the rest of this team? There's kind of a possibility. This team does not look like... Oh, I guess you can... That's Scald. It might burn this thing. There's a chance this goes poorly. You can probably heal some stuff up, but... You can probably heal up Hatterene. Okay, we see the expected Wish and Flip come out. And it was a speed tie earlier. We get confirmation on that. Okay, trying the Aatrot route first. Fair enough, I suppose. We'll see how this goes. Actually, this is over. Good on Mushtari for knowing this was over, because it is. Yeah, worst case UPP stall with this Olo. So there was never a world where this went any other way but the way it went. So good stuff to Cravian, I guess. I honestly think they had what looks to be an extremely dominant matchup and played it not as cleanly as I would have liked. But it turned out okay for them, so I guess we can't hate too much, can we? All right. Let's see. Do we have any other games going on? Are we gaming? I was going to say, this Wheezing is probably Levitate and will only take 12.5% from SR and not the spikes. Good point. Very good point I missed there. Very true. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I still probably would have stayed in and pressured it. But yeah, the Wheezing being Levitate, not neutralizing gas, makes a lot of sense because, right, Wheezing is does not need to defog on Goldengo in this format. So that's a very good point. I guess we probably got confirmation on that in the game if defog was bounced back, so I could have been more attentive there. But yeah, not used to seeing a Levitate Wheezing, but I guess, yeah, it probably wasn't. I don't know if I have the correct one. I think I do. This doesn't seem to be updated though. Let's see. If you have it. Okay, apparently top 8 has begun. So that'll be exciting. Was this top 8? I think I saw these guys in there. Is this an itemless thing? The fact that I don't see any items popping up makes me think this is one of ours. No. I feel like I remember. Oh, that's because I'm looking in final stage. Yeah, okay. Yeah, these are ours. Wow, this Jirachi set seems so bad. What are we doing? I'm shocked how many people tried to use stall in a format where you are like guaranteed to get rolled by hazards. Really weird play. Really weird play. Lucha makes a lot of sense. Mold Breaker's kind of weird. I'm not really seeing, I guess, to break stall, but I mean, how'd that turn out? Okay, interesting. Okay, I see. So this is where we're at. So Mortify, this was top 8 we were watching already. Very, very cool. Okay, so we're watching the game to see who will face Mortify. Clear Body, it will drop the defog, but it will not prevent it. Does this thing not have Hex? Like, you're running Will-O-Wisp Shadow Ball. Guys, what are we doing? Gnome, what is this nonsense? We can't seriously be trying this. Okay, there's the Toxic coming off, but this Shadow Ball here is not going to be easy to take. But yeah, oh, never mind. Maybe it will be not too bad to take at all, actually, because you just go back into Pex here. Okay, I do not approve of that. We gotta keep the pressure up. Oh no, if it has Slack Off, then I do approve of that. Yeah. Good call. Thunder Punch Meowscarada would be a game changer here. Okay, slowly wearing down with the U-turns, I suppose. The Slowking kind of just comes in forever, so I'm not really seeing the vision here. Like, you just switch in Toxapex, then back into Slowking here, and Toxic Stall. I feel like Gnome should be winning this with the significant Pokemon event. You almost never see 4 Pokemon on a stall team make a comeback like this. But it's happening. It is happening. Really questionable choices here. I mean, I guess you've got to do something to... Like, maybe you can set spikes on that switch and then kind of get in. No, this is weird, though. Yeah, you can go for a flamethrower here. Whoa, very nice critical hit there. That's crucial. If you're Gnome, you want to keep clicking. Wow, that was a terrible, terrible Future Sight. You do not want to do that there. So, for those that don't know, this is actually a pretty strong spot. Pretty strong spot for Gnome. Future Sight will hit. Future Sight will hit before the wish comes off, and it doesn't look like Nullpack knows that. They're about to be very disappointed by this. Yep. So Future Sight will hit, then you get the wish. That's how it works. Yeah, Bognor, I think that's a good idea, just doing a normal tour next time. So yeah, Pex has been lost. That is how it is a crucial mechanic to know that Future Sight hits before Wish. I know that back from running Future Sight Reuniclus back in the old days. Back in the old days of early Gen 8. Great times. Great times. So, U-turn's going to come out here. Corviknight is back, but Pex is gone. A Pokemon dying is always such a big deal against Stall that is absolutely a deal you're happy with. And we're only at 4 roosts, so half the roosts are gone. Yep, those flamethrowers are looking scary. Jirachi will be able to survive here, but, you know, for how long? I probably would have fished for the burn there, honestly, but it turned out okay. These throat chops, it's funny that knockoff is not the way to go anymore. That's actually really clever. Knockoff would be horrible in this format. Do I think switching in and out should also have PP? No, I do not. I like that you can switch infinitely. It's actually a good anti-stall tool, because you can bring 2 regen mons and just switch forever and tie against any stall team. It's pretty cool. Someone also noted that Hawlucha's Unburden doesn't just work with no item. Yeah, I'm fully aware of that. It'd be pretty crazy if it did. You do need to use the item. I guess Mold Breaker seems a little strange to me because I was thinking probably Limber would be best, but then I thought about it again and I'm like, well, probably not. Let's see. Does this Scizor have Swords Dance? If so, this could be huge. Okay, super slow Scizor getting outsped by a Corviknight. Not what you want to see. Acrobatics is a little bit weird on Scizor. I guess I can see it being better than Dual Wing Beat, but Dual Wing Beat is stronger still. But it does have that miss chance, and multi-hit's not so good against contact abilities. This is going to be a slow one, guys, but I'm not totally comfortable calling it yet. There's still... is there realistically a world where this goes... Well, let's check the bracket and see who else is gaming. So it's just this game. I'm thinking I might call it. Oh boy, we have a fun little visual glitch here. That's really interesting. Okay, seems like we're past that. Is there any world where eventually the Corviknight just doesn't lose all of its health? I really don't think so. There's just this small but kind of real chance. Oh, it has close combat. This is big. If it gets a close combat off here. No, it doesn't. But I mean, this Corviknight, it's 2 roosts. I mean, you're on borrowed time here. Yeah, that U-turn's good. You just go into Scizor here, I'd imagine. Maybe Tusk. I could see the Tusk gaming. It's a shame this Scizor does not appear to have like Swords Dance or anything like that. Or anything to really hit Jirachi. But I mean, these wishes are running out. And the U-turns are running out on Meowscarada, but not so much on Scizor. It's going to be a big close combat. I don't fully agree with using the close combats on the Jirachi, but I guess it's getting there eventually. I do think we're going to call... I'll give it a little more time, but I'm thinking we probably call it soon. So guys, remember to like the stream if you're enjoying this. Yep, Meow just comes in. And then you just click Throat Chop. Got plenty of those. Going for the spike. Okay, I like that play. Yeah, but that Throat Chop is not going to do much. Meowscarada, a critical hit there could have been a game changer. So I don't really agree with the risk that was taken. I think Scizor would have been a better call. But that Throat Chop will still do a good chunk. Okay, not going for the wish, so this could be bad here. U-turn, based on how much you did last time. There's a chance close combat picks up the kill here. Going into Corviknight, but that's going to take a huge amount of damage. I would say go for it. Burning this Corv's Roost is the best thing this Scizor can do. I'd say click it again. It's my vote. Okay, going into this is fair too. That's fair too, because you can go for a pretty solid flamethrower here. But then it's really just so easy for this Slowking to come in, isn't it? Snom loves Zygarde and Snack saying, Dual Wing Beat is stronger. My guy, Dual Wing Beat is 80 BP with 2 hits. Acrobatics is 110 BP with no item. That's a huge difference. So there's this ability called Technician, famously held by Scizor. Probably the most famous Technician Pokemon, and it makes moves under 60 BP, get a 1.5 times boost, bringing Dual Wing Beat on Scizor up to 120 BP. You are currently getting schooled in chat, and when this catches up to you in 2.5 minutes, you will get schooled then as well. Okay. But yeah, not much going on here. Shadow Ball coming off. Funny watching all the messages flood in. Clowning. Love to see it. Okay, and Dragapult's still got a little bit left in him. The right play here is just to either U-turn or Shadow Ball. Let's see, it'll be a Shadow Ball. Fair enough. That's a play I can get behind. Now here, what is the right call? Probably just Meowscarada Throat Chop. Okay, going into Scizor, fair enough. There's a U-turn. But what do you go into now? Dragapult was kind of the only thing that could do any significant amount of damage to Corviknight. Tusk, fair enough. Yeah, this thing can, I guess, probably just click Ice Spinner. Maybe if you're really feeling crazy, the Tusk has, like, Temper Flare would be great here. Probably doesn't have that, though. No, Jirachi's not good in Gen 9. It's not even really good here. Okay, that was a horrible Stealth Rock. The whole point of this game now is chipping down this Corviknight. Why are you going to just set Stealth Rock, lose some health on Tusk, give it a free defog opportunity? I don't know. That was terrible. That was terrible. Yeah, that was awful. So no idea what was going through Gnome's head with that Stealth Rock. The play is always just to click, even if your best move for hitting this thing is Ice Spinner or Knock Off. You forgot to put Knock Off. Just go for that. Like, the whole point of this now is just chipping down this Corviknight. Like an Ice Spinner, like getting like 20 or 18 or however much Ice Spinner does on that Corv would be incredibly valuable. Because what you're doing right now is doing a lot less than 20. There's a small but very real chance that Iron Defense Corv kind of pulls some shenanigans here. So I want to give that a chance to come to fruition. Last Future Sight is out. Better make good use of it. Okay, and they do get the slow Chili, or possibly slow. Could just be a messed up thing. And yeah, absolutely a Throat Chop here. No doubt about it. Oh yeah, I know stream delay is insane. All very intentional. Throat Chop, yeah, you've got enough. You've got enough to chip down the Corv. It's not going to be fast or interesting, but it'll get there. You probably go Scizor here, because you can potentially, if it goes for an aggressive body press here, you can catch it with a close combat on the Roost, take out a lot of health. Okay, just going into that. And it does Roost, so there's the last one gone, folks. Corviknight is living on borrowed time now. It has been for a while, but now it really is. Yeah, I'm fully aware dual wing beat is inaccurate and acrobatics might be better here. But double hits have advantages. Double hit moves do have distinct advantages. Hitting past substitute is nice. For example, getting through focus sashes. Okay, there's throat chop. Yeah. Oh, and the tusk dies to a scald, so that's not good. Body, yeah. This, we might be seeing the throw of the century happening before our eyes, folks. Yep, not a good sack there. Not a good sack at all. You gotta make a hard switch to Meow here. Yep. Okay, well, I'm glad I was right to not call this game off too early, because this is actually getting close. That was one I probably would have called out if I was null pack, but it is what it is. And that is health off the Corviknight. So it's looking like Gnome will win this, but it's going to be close. Okay, good aggressive Lucha here. You probably just go right for the acrobatics and then die, realistically. Yep, that did way less than I thought it would. Chilly Reception makes sense there. You can go into the Jirachi, but you're still going to go into Meowscarada here, click Throat Chop, and something's going to die. I'm looking at the sacking war that will probably result here, and I believe the advantage goes to Gnome. Okay, good aggressive SD there. You will survive, and now you can't go Corv here. Slowking will survive. I believe the correct play is to probably either go Slowking or go for the double protect here. Probably go for the double protect because you want to keep Slowking around to deal with this guy, this Slowking. Yeah, but the you see the misplay on Tusk earlier costing a lot. Like imagine if instead of that Stealth Rock it had been 2 attacks. Right now, Corviknight would be at the health where you could just click Throat Chop and win the entire game. So, really shows you these tiny little non-optimal plays, they add up. That's why the best players. Okay, interesting there. The best players are very careful about stuff like that. And Lucha's still alive. That I did not see coming. I'll admit. I thought it was dead to Toxic. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention. Is this only... No, it is badly. Okay, you absolutely click Acrobatics here. If they stay in with Corv, you win with Throat Chop. So you absolutely click Acrobatics here. Total throw on the close combat. Total throw. You still win, I believe, but that was not good. That was not good at all. But yeah. Actually, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter because you just click Throat Chop here anyway. So I won't criticize that ending play because it led to a guaranteed win anyway. But I think Acrobatics was the better move. Actually, no, they were pretty much equal. Okay, Gnome, I don't agree with everything you did there, but it turned out okay. You did what you needed to do at the end of the day. And what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Just wasting our time? Is that just like... What are we doing? I guess like Flower Trick does more... I don't think that was the right... I'm pretty sure you killed. It's Fizz Def, I know, but... Actually, hold on. Let's look back. How are we getting more of this, dude? Actually, okay, hold on. We might... okay, the game's chugging too much when we try to load back, but... Okay, I cut to it and see that this thing did not click Slack Off for whatever reason on God's green earth. It did not click Slack Off before finishing off the Slowking. So you actually could have won here. Null pack. Like, you had that game, because this thing didn't have recovery. I don't even know what to say, guys. I really don't. It's throws. It was the throw. Throws were happening. And yeah, in retrospect, yeah, the acro on the Corviknight would have been the correct play, I believe. Well, no, it was a read. It was a read. Anyway. Yeah, if this Slowking had clicked Slack Off and been healthy, because it's a Fizz Def Slowking, it actually doesn't take that much from Flower Trick. You could have been in a position to win there. So, kind of a toss. Kind of a toss. So, yeah, null pack, big mistakes there. Big mistakes there. But hey, if a stall player didn't throw, would it really be a Pinkator? No, I think not. I think not. Remember to like the stream if you're enjoying. Alright, here we go. Fortunately, stall is out, so we don't have to see that again. And Mortify is still in. Let's see what happens here. So we've seen this team. It's like pivoting Scizor, SD, Lucha. It's looking... This will be interesting. The Battle of the Glow Kings will be particularly important here. Gnome's Dragapult not having Hex is once again going to suck because you probably won't be able to get past Clefable without that power. So just really questionable stuff. We'll open this Cravian game. I guess we haven't seen this team ever, so we'll watch this one and then shift back if needed. Alright, so let's see. Cravian, let's see what you've got, buddy. Let's see what you've got. Oet was here. Let's look at this. So Oet was here going with a pretty understandable hazard stack offense. Of course, when you think item list, the first thing is no boots and hazards, and we've seen hazards be a major part of every game. So Defog Corviknight has been everywhere thanks to the Goldengo ban. And yeah, we've got a Sinistra. So Sinistra is basically the best spin blocker for Tusk ever. And on top of that, Oet was here, has a Samurott, which is going to bypass Hatterene's Magic Bounce. And if rocks go up here, they are not going down. So all in all, there's a lot of scary stuff here. If Oet was here, clicked rocks there, it was already just off to a bad start. Do we see a Scald Burn? We do immediately see a Scald Burn. Note that that will only be doing 3% per turn, though. Only 3% because of Sinistra's Heat Proof. So we get confirmation on that ability, which we probably kind of knew anyway. It doesn't want to run Hospitality. But okay, in comes the A-Trot on a Magma Mist, so that's nice at least. Little bit of compensation. Okay, there's the Ceaseless Edge. We might see like a Sacred Sword or something. I imagine in a tournament like this, especially with your team having Hatterene as one of its methods of hazard control, you would want to be good against opposing Samurott. So Sacred Sword might be more popular than it typically is. Okay, there's just a crazy Razor Shell from Oet was here. I have no clue why you wouldn't just click Ceaseless Edge there. And then putting a face in the chat, and Cravian putting a face in the chat for a... Like, what are you upset about? You got a critical hit, they got a 50% defense drop? What's the face about? You hit your Ceaseless Edge, you got a critical... Like, what are we making faces about? The 50% defense drop? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Okay, well, there's another Ceaseless Edge, finally, figuring that one out. Like, if you have a Sinistra, that Tusk is not removing hazards. So, get up hazards. Why? Why are we switching up? Why are we letting Sinistra get weakened and not setting up more spikes? The third spike is really good, the second spike isn't. What are we doing, gamers? Oet was here is confusing me. How did you get this far? How, like, what? Okay, another Magma Miss. Oh my gosh, though. Oet was here. What are you doing? Okay, there's the U-turn, so getting that play right again. I don't know. I don't understand. Like, Oet may have been here, but maybe here physically, not mentally. I don't know. This is weird. This is really weird. We see a U-turn. Okay, Swords Dance comes out. This, this won't solo, because you've got a Heatran in the back. If it misses another Magma Storm and gets close combated, then it probably will. Bug Bite doing a ton there. That is going to be a 90 base power bug move. So yeah, that'll be a major threat to deal with. Is the Scizor speedy? We can check that Alomomola flip turn damage and see what that indicates. Evidently not willing to risk it. Do we see a third Magma Miss? No, Magma Storm finally hits. 75 accuracy move, by the way, so it's not quite as bad as Focus Blast. Is 75. Okay, and it's going to bug out of there. It does not want to deal with that. Hatterene officially gone. So if this Landorus has Stealth Rock, which it absolutely should, it can get that up. Scizor is still healthy enough to threaten a Rillaboom. Let's see, in comes the Tusk. See, normally Sinistcha would be the absolute end for this Tusk, but it's weakened to the point where Ice Spinner will do it. So, I don't really know what to say about that one. People in chat saying Sinistcha is a real mon. I swear to God, Sinistcha is real. He's not awful. Did I say it was? If I did, I misspoke. Sinistcha's not bad at all, especially in a tournament like this where hazards are so crucial. Sinistcha's probably the best spin blocker there is. But the way it's been played is awful. And there we go. See? See? This is why we don't let the Sinistcha take a ton of damage for no reason. This is also why we get up a third spike when we're on a passive Pokemon like Aloe. Because why wouldn't you? I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't. Oet was here would need to explain that. Well, Darkrai is looking really scary. Ice Beam, Dark Pulse. I mean, if you had 3 layers of spikes, it'd be looking even more scary. But Nasty Plot coming out there, not what you want to see. Especially because, you know, okay, Sucker Punch, so at least it did have priority. That will put it firmly into Rillaboom range, though. So Rillaboom will come in here. I'd say if you are Oet was here, you've got to go hard into Scizor on that. Landorus, I believe, offensive set will die, so that's kind of a weird play. Okay, interesting. And just sacking seems really weird. I would much rather sack Sinistcha there. It's not coming back from that one. It gets outsped by everything with the exception of Aloe. I don't really see Sinistcha as having a good way to take this game back with Heatran there being such a solid answer as well and being as chipped as it is. So that's really weird. No. Ceaseless Edge does not get reflected by Magic Bounce. So there's no reason not to click it again on that Aloe there. Some people in chat saying he had to play around Magic Bounce. You do not have to play around Magic Bounce with Ceaseless Edge. Stealth Rock, sure. I agree with the being careful about when to click Stealth Rock. That's fair. But the Magic Bounce, that's not a concern for Ceaseless Edge. Okay, what's the plan here? What's the plan, Oet? I think you've just got to probably go into the Darkrai, and I believe Dark Pulse will kill here. Yeah, Dark Pulse will kill. So you just go into Darkrai, click Dark Pulse, and do a lot of damage to something. Should be the plan. You could go Scizor, but then you're just inviting in the Heatran and making risky plays, which you don't have to make. It doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to make these risky plays. What are we doing? What are we doing? In fact, I think with Darkrai, you're pretty much guaranteed a kill because you get 2 Dark Pulses off and the terrain runs out if Rillaboom switches in. So Darkrai was kind of a perfect play here. Like, sure, the Bullet Punch worked, but what if they just switched into Heatran? All right. Magma Mist number, what are we going for? I think Magma Storm is currently hit 1 of 3 times. So, okay, in comes the Alo. In comes the Alo. Going to just die to a Dark Pulse. Also, why did you not, as Kravian there, why did you not just click Magma Storm? Like, that's a really weird play. I'm so lost on why you did that. Like, you're here, and then you switch into Mola? I guess hoping for the Aatrot so you could wish up the Mola. That makes some sense. I guess I can get behind the vision there. I think you were in good enough a spot that you didn't need to do that, but I see the vision. Oh, but now in comes the Scizor. Not an easy position here. It's not going to kill, but we do see the close combat come out, the read. So, the correct play here, you've got to switch into Heatran. I believe you are dying, unless you can glide and just kill this thing. Oh, you can just glide and kill it. Yeah, so that's the play then. Nope, that's Life Orb. Which is clearly, we'll go leftover, sure. Probably I would have gone for that, but okay. Switching into Heatran on the Bullet Punch. I guess we'd have to know the Scizor's bulk to know if that was a roll worth going for. Okay, Earth Power, down goes the Scizor. Now Rillaboom will get its full terrain in when it comes in. But I still think this game's going to go to Oet was here. Yeah, if this Heatran is faster, there's like a chance you can make something happen here. But you can't really kill. Maybe like a critical hit Earth Power. Nature Gift is not in the game, so that's not an option. The Heatran is not going to pull out a grass move here. If this miss, I will make everything right next year. Yeah, there it goes. So basically this comes down to, because you can Grassy Glide here, and then you try to critical hit the Hatterene with Woodhammer. That's basically the situation we're at. Will the Hatterene get critical hit by a Woodhammer? No, it'll just get outsped. I guess a greedy SD, something like that. Wild play. Should have just been a glide there. So I don't... If you glided there and then got a critical hit on one hammer, you would have won. So I don't understand what that play was. Actually, though, hold on. No. Well, okay, so odds of a critical hit are 1 in... No, that was actually good. Yeah, because you want to SD there, then glide. Because the odds of one of these moves missing, Razor Shell or Ceaseless Edge, is better than the odds of a critical hit. So that was actually smart playing from Kravian at the end, optimized. There were other questionable calls, but at the end, that was actually optimized to click Swords Dance there, which I'm assuming is what Kravian went for. So good stuff on that, if Swords Dance was indeed the click. But that will be it for Kravian. Okay, come in and see, oh my god, I'm stupid. Not what you want to see in semifinals, but let's get the chat spoilers out of the way and kind of just see how this game went. Okay, we've got nothing unexpected happening. Like Kapoki, that Scizor in the previous game did not have U-turn. It was an SD Bug Bite set. Okay. Let's speed this up a little bit because I am getting sleepy watching this. Okay. Glow King's going to war. That's pretty much it. Oh, hold on. We had something happen there. CC come out. And then Future Sight come off and finish off the Scizor. Yeah, pretty bad sack. Scizor is kind of good there. Now Clefable's looking insane. Even more so than before. Good burn. Volt comes in. Some Volt switching around a little bit. Some more Future Sights. Corviknight coming in. Yeah, this is looking like just totally being dismantled. Yeah, this is just slowly but surely this Tusk is going to die. Okay, there's the T-Wave. More chip. Tinglu is going to go down here unless it has rest, and it does not, but we do see a Ruination come out there, which is pretty nice. Future Sight, yep, more Future Sights. Clefable is looking tough to deal with at this stage. That Moonlight is not going to heal much in the snow. Not much at all. But there's the Encore into the Future Sight. We got a GG. Don't want to spoil it, but I think we all know which kind of direction this game is going in. I think we all know. Yep. Yeah, this is just okay, good play. Hold on. Gnome is going crazy. Oh, and there you go. There you have it. Okay, and that's got to be it. Yep, there we go. Good stuff from Mortify. Just totally dismantled. This honestly just looked like a matchup slaughter. It was a war of the Glow Kings, and I mean the more hazards won. We're seeing this consistently. Whoever sets more hazards wins the game. Makes a ton of sense. So okay, it's finals time. It's going to be Mortify versus Oet was here. So let's, oh geez, shouldn't have opened that up. Oh, accidentally clicked on whatever this is. Okay. Once we see a game from Mortify, we'll get this party started. Cut me some slack. I'm playing Pokemon Showdown at a restaurant with 3 bars of Wi-Fi. I will cut nobody any slack. I will not cut any slack for anybody. That's how this works. Let's see. Someone says, Gil, Allspinka, starting my 4th year at uni tomorrow. Also learning EE. Ooh. Almost through, man. Keep it up. All right, when are we going to get a game going? Well, anyway, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and I'll be back in just a minute. Never mind, the game started. I will hold it in. Here we go. All right. This will be interesting. We've got our kind of most successful bulky balance facing off against our somehow most successful, more offense. So I guess it's just kind of a classic balance versus offense. Finals here, grand finals. This is the game. Who takes home the cup, the prestige, the fame? Whose name will be remembered for centuries? Probably the person who sets more hazards. So let's see who can do that. Let's do a little matchup analysis here. Clefable looks good. You honestly just kind of click Moonblast, and Scizor does not have Roost. So if it takes that, it's going to just have to deal with that. And starting with Clefable seems fair. I would just click Moonblast. Immediately getting the Stealth Rock bounced. Good start for Oet was here. We'll see if Finals makes Oet was here lock in a little bit, because there were some crazy questionable plays last game. But starting off strong. Another question is, how well does Oet's team pressure Mortify from defogging with Corviknight? Depending on this Landorus set, could be really well or not so well at all. If this is a taunt Landorus, then there is not a lot you can do. But I guess we're going to see. Going for a U-turn there. I wonder if this Landorus is choiced, because we've seen it click U-turn. I don't think we've ever seen it click a non-attacking move. So going into H-Rod here, this could be a good opportunity to Razor Shell, get some pressure going, fish for one of those defense drops, and if you do get it, which you do immediately, okay, smart Iron Defense there, considering that defense drop. Going to flip turn out, but into what? What's the play here? Landorus is not bad. Predicting the Roost, that indicates that this is a taunt Landorus, because you've got to know Roost is coming off there. You have to know that. And if you do know that, you should taunt. But somehow, not going for it. So maybe this Landorus, if you don't, I don't know why in the world you would go into Landorus there if your intent was not to taunt. So, more extremely questionable plays from Oet was here. Started in a pretty good position. Started off doing really well with that Stealth Rock bounce back, and just through really strange, passive, pointless plays with Landorus has floundered that position. And has no advantage at all. So Oet was here, started off strong with that magic bounce, and gave it all up for seemingly no reason. Do we see another defense drop here? We do. That is crucial. So you want to go for, you could go for a Ceaseless Edge, or another Razor Shell here would probably be the better play, since it does a bit more damage. And we see another defense drop. How unfortunate. Now you definitely want to click Ceaseless Edge. So this Corviknight is not staying in this turn. You want to get those hazards up. It is absolutely the right moment to click Ceaseless Edge. It has been 3 defense drops in a row from Oet was here. They did click the right play, but finally, the chickens have come to roost, and the Ceaseless Edge misses. That was overdue. An overdue bit of RNG there, I would say. Let's see. Okay, in comes the Hatterene on the Draco Meteor, though. Good read there. Good read. The Hatterene reads have been on point. Other aspects of this game are questionable, but the Hatterene reads have been on point. I'd say a solid mid-ground here for Oet was here is to go into Landorus. Covers the Volt Switch and the switch into Glowking. Because it's such a strong mid-ground, though, it might be a little too obvious. So it could be that Mortify goes for an aggressive Draco again. But no, not looking like it. Just standard going into Glowking, but that Calm Mind is not so good there. You don't really want to be Calm Minding on a Glowking. So we'll see. It is just going to be a Sludge Bomb, and the Scizor does come in. So that's good at least. That is good at least. I think Scizor gets like Thief, doesn't it? Which is 60 base power. Maybe could use that as a strong Dark Stab. It seems like a lot of Scizor have been missing that Dark Stab of knockoff today. Oh, right. I'm talking about the Lando maybe being choiced. It can't be choiced. It's itemless. That's funny. Yeah, it's so hard to get rid of that habit of thinking everything has an item. But yeah, Landorus cannot be choiced, so I guess it's just a non-taunt Landorus. which is unhinged stuff, truly. Either way, my point stands that if the Landorus doesn't have taunt, you shouldn't have gone into it there, but huge close combat. Corviknight, thanks to Corviknight being faster and the mechanics of Roost, you can't get out of this situation here. Your Corviknight, probably the best thing to do is just body press, take a lot of damage on Scizor, and then get out with your life. You might be able to kill here with body press. Not looking like it, no, because this is going to be an HP invested Scizor, so yeah. This is a tough spot. You just click close combat again. Yeah, in comes Glowking, but we've seen this is Bug Bite. Bug Bite is going to absolutely shatter Mortify's team here. Something is probably dying. Maybe this turn an aggressive Zamazenta could save you from a death, but nope. Out goes the Glowking. I will say that's a pretty reasonable sack. It was good against Hatterene, and that's kind of it. So letting Glowking go makes a lot of sense there. Okay, there's a crunch coming out on Sinistcha, but Sinistcha does not care about that. Sinistcha is also one of the hardest counters out there to non-substitute Zamazenta, and substitute would be really strange to run when you can't run leftovers. Bit odd to be going for the Shadow Ball there. Feels like Strength Sap would make a lot more sense, but continuing with the constant stat drops of Oet was here, they proceed to get a special defense drop, and now they're going for a Calm Mind, getting aggressive. Really, really just unfortunate luck for Mortify for the most part. There was the one Ceaseless Edge miss, which was kind of a big deal. But, yeah, this is looking rough. That Machagacha is going to do over half and heal so much, all for Stealth Rock. Now, normally I'd say whoever has the hazards up is going to take the cake, but maybe not this time. Personally, I would have boosted up a little bit more there, gotten a couple more Calm Minds to deal with that Raging Bull Draco. But, Mortify saying, or no, Oet was here saying no thank you. That's still doing over half, a critical hit immediately. Whew, that is unfortunate luck for Mortify. I keep saying that, but I think the fortune in this game is definitely been in favor of Oet was here. So you did have taunt. Why didn't you click it earlier when the Corviknight was very obviously going to defog? Wacky, wacky plays here, guys. I just don't know what to say about that. But okay. Yeah, it looks like Earthquake Landorus is going to be a really major threat in this game. Although, that Ruination is a pretty big deal. I think maybe a big mistake there, actually, because that Landorus can now only come in once. So if you bring in Raging Bolt, and Raging Bolt looks really scary at this point. So there's still definitely a way, theoretically at least, that Mortify can take this. I don't think it's likely, but there's theoretically a way. Yeah, the problem is, though, you just go into Hatterene, don't you? Or you just go into Sinistcha. I mean, you're not killing with 2 crunches. One second, let me check something here. Oh, the Scizor did outspeed the Corviknight. No, so I'm just being foolish. I was thinking about the other game. But okay, yeah, there's the crunch and there's Strength Sap all the way back to 100. Good heavens, that's how Sinistcha does it. Should just be a Shadow Ball here. Yep, good damage on the Bolt. Another special defense drop just to add insult to injury. Doesn't really matter since you're not staying in here anyway. But it could matter after the sack, because you could then be better to go into something like Hatterene. Okay, wow. Going into Hatterene aggressively here. This should die to a Thunderbolt if Mortify has it. I don't believe, based on the Volt Switch damage, that a Discharge would kill. And a Volt Switch definitely won't kill. You probably could just Volt Switch here into... Why did you not Volt Switch? Okay, I guess maybe you saw that coming. But I mean, that's not so much of an issue. I mean, I suppose it worked out. Not really, because you just died. But the Landorus will be killed by the Zamazenta here. The Landorus will be killed by the Zama here. And then your Raging Bolt has nothing really left to stop it. If this is like a Calm Mind Volt Switch, I really don't think it is. But if it is, that'd be crazy here. If you're it was here, you really want to go for the Calm Mind. Okay, interesting Matcha Gotcha. We'll probably see a burn. We don't see a burn. Finally, a secondary effect has failed. It was here. Should just be a Strength Sap here to heal up. Makes sense. But yeah, this Bolt here, if it has Calm Mind, this could be a real game changer. I don't think it does. But if it does, we see a Draco come out and take a kill. Mortify is making things happen against all odds here, but after that special attack drop, it's probably time for Draining Kiss to do the thing it does and just win the game. A critical hit here, killing the Hatterene, could be a game changer. A potentially Volt switching, not getting the critical hit, but if Zamazenta has Heavy Slam, could do it as well. No critical hit, so a Draining Kiss will almost certainly be coming out here. There is the Draining Kiss. Hatterene healing up to 42. Not as bad as I thought, honestly, as far as the healing goes. A Volt Switch will definitely kill if this thing comes back in, unless there's another Draco drop. But if this thing has Heavy Slam, it does. Okay, guys, we have a game. I still think it's not much of a game, but we technically have a game. So you want to crunch here and go for that defense drop, probably. If you predict the Strength Sap, you want to go into Raging Bolt hard here. They're going for predicting the Strength Sap, and it turned out to not be the play. The play was crunch there. But we'll see. That's a huge Draco, and the Sinistra dies. Guys, we might just see Zamazenta do it with close combat here. Oh no, but the Scizor can just Swords Dance, can't it? You've got a Volt Switch here into Zamazenta, go back into Raging Bolt, and then Thunderclap and hope for like either the Volt Switch or the Thunderclap gets a critical hit. It's really your only way at this point. There's the Volt Switch. We see based on that Volt Switch damage, you actually might just do this. And a crazy Bug Bite there. I'm surprised to see that come off. You need to make a play now here. If you think this Scizor is going for Bullet Punch, you have to go into Raging Bolt. If you think it's going for Bug Bite, you have to stay in close combat. There is no room for error. There is absolutely no room for error. It's a pure 50-50. I believe the odds are still in favor of was here because that's not specs. Sure. Based on that damage, this Scizor has, I believe, 0 HP based on the calcs we've seen. It's still in favor of was here. Okay, well, do they get it? They do not. It will be a Bug Bite. That critical hit did not matter. I'm pretty sure that would have killed anyway. Yeah, that Bug Bite was going to do that anyway. So yeah, it came down to a 50-50, and was here takes it. Congratulations, was here. Yeah, congratulations. That was good stuff for Mortify. I was honestly pretty pleased with how Mortify played. You managed to do a really great comeback there at the end and play exceptionally well. I mean, the fact that you brought that back from what looked like an absolutely devastating victory back to a very close game, brought into a situation where you needed to get an 80% roll and a 50-50, so like good 40% chance to win the game. Incredible stuff. Honestly, pretty solid stuff. So congratulations, was here, and Mortify, I'd say that was some really fine playing. So good work. All right, I will end it there. Thank you guys very much for attending. I had fun. Next time we will probably just do a regular tour, like just OU, and just see how many people want to join that. It'll be no gimmicks, just normal, good old-fashioned, let's see what you got. Okay, we'll try to time this right. End this in 3, 2, 1.